Even though Janet Yellen claims that she's disappointed she was not reelected to a second term as Federal Reserve Chairwoman, she is getting out before the next stock market crash and the next global financial crisis. So this is definitely a blessing in disguise, whether she actually wanted it or not. She is going to land on her feet. I've been saying this for a long time. She actually ended up taking a job at the Brookings Institution, which is a well-known globalist think tank. A lot of big money goes into there. And she's going to be a distinguished fellow in residence with the Economic Studies program. So it doesn't say her salary, but I'm sure she's going to add on to that to her 3 or 4 pensions her and her husband already have. And she's going to continue to build her wealth. And she kept her academic reputation intact because she got out before the next global financial crisis. And so Janet Yellen was Federal Reserve Chairwoman for about 4 years. This is the Federal Reserve's balance sheet, guys. So she took over around the beginning of 2014, basically. And the Federal Reserve's balance sheet continued to went up over another $1 trillion. And, you know, remember, for the last 12 months, the Federal Reserve was claiming it was going to reduce their balance sheet. This is on the St. Louis Federal Reserve's website. Has their balance sheet been reduced? It really doesn't look like it. So they haven't reduced the balance sheet like they claimed. They've benefited from raising interest rates, that it's attracted capital from other economies, other central banks doing their QE programs. It's brought a lot of extra money into the United States capital markets. And it'll be interesting to see if the new Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, if he continues on the path that the Federal Reserve, the Board of Governors, these Keynesian PhD economists are saying, where they are planning on three interest rate increases. So do you think then that the Federal Reserve is going to be able to do 3 interest rate increases? I've actually heard of other Keynesian economists, mostly at Wall Street firms, saying that there will actually be even more than 3 interest rate increases by the Federal Reserve in 2018. I've heard as high as 6. So what do you guys think about that? I think that's pretty insane, but you know, in these times, you never know. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Jerome Powell. You know, normally when a new Federal Reserve chairman comes in, the markets tend to hiccup. And so Janet Yellen was able to get out before the crash, and she kept her academic reputation intact. So she's going to be like Ben Bernanke and Alan Greenspan, and she's going to have very expensive speaking fees. This is just how these economic and political elites, this is how they continue to get rich off the status quo. So I'll attach news stories here to her joining the globalist Brookings Institute. These are a few other articles that I will also attach. There's also a short little video here about Jerome Powell. He's well respected, Powell. He got more votes than Yellen in the confirmation because he was already on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, but he is inheriting an enormous mess. So we'll see what happens in the near future. It's looking, though, in my opinion, I know a lot of people think the stock market crash will happen in the next couple months, but I think, you know, 2019, 2020 is still probably the target years, because those are the years the US Treasury is going to have to borrow even more money. It's looking like a $1.2 trillion increase in Treasury borrowings is going to have to happen in 2019 and 2020. That those extra borrowings were delayed by the Obama administration and Janet Yellen for years. So Janet Yellen, just basically, if I could sum things up, she got out before the crash, just like other Federal Reserve chairmen, like how Ben Bernanke got out before another crash, and Ben Bernanke is still making a lot of money despite all the problems he caused. And Janet Yellen drastically increased the Federal Reserve's balance sheet still, and people are going to respect her, and she's going to make a lot of money off this. And we're seeing similar wordings basically from the governor of the Bank of England. I think he's going to get out in the near future if he hasn't already. Mario Draghi of the ECB should be out in 2019. And the head of the People's Bank of China might be out in the near future too. So these guys are probably going to get out before the next crisis. And they've tried to delay things as long as possible. And so they haven't completely stopped the next crisis. They've just delayed it. And in my opinion, they've made things a lot worse. And so we'll see what happens in the near future. But it's insane, though, that the Federal Reserve can potentially continue to increase interest rates, even little quarter point ones, 25 basis points, without decreasing its balance sheet. What a weird world we live in, guys. So anyway, that's it for this short little video. Do you work out routinely and eat healthy almost all the time? If you eat paleo or vegan or work out routinely, You may be eligible to save up to 33% off on your life insurance thanks to Health IQ. Health IQ is a venture capital-backed, big data technology life insurance company that offers customers life insurance at special rates by using the latest technologies. For more information, please go to healthiq.com/WS4MS. That's healthiq.com/WS4MS.